2025, northeast of England. On the plus side, we know that men aren't women, etc. Smashing me head off the floor again. What an odd conversation. What's even weird as I'm having it by myself. The ramblings of a madman. Hello one and all, or all 12 of you who will probably see this video. I'm just out in the wilderness, if you could call it that. It's about half a mile from where I live, just in fields. Something about human nature just gives you that peace when you go out into nature. I think it's just soothing on the soul, I find. Some of you might know that I had a brain injury, catastrophic brain injury as it was labelled, or traumatic. You can see the scar all the way around there. That's a titanium plate in that part of my head. Anyway, that was 11 years ago, and just a week ago today, for whatever reason, I collapsed and hit my head again, quite severely off the floor. And it's not the first time this has happened over the last 11 years. It's happened quite a few times. Every time it does happen, anyone with a brain injury will know this. It tends to set you back quite a bit. Back to like you start getting early symptoms that you got during the start of your journey, which for me generally means fatigue, which is tiredness times a million, and confusion. So you're gonna I'm gonna ramble quite a lot because I haven't planned anything to say here. So after my fall a week ago, I've just been in the house really trying to recover, because I know from experience it's going to take at least 4 to 6 weeks to get over smashing my head off the floor again. I was at the hospital the other day, spent 7 hours in A&E where they'd done some CT scans, and luckily there doesn't seem to be any new damage. The damage that was shown on the CT scans from a couple of years ago are still the same. So I haven't created a new injury, but now it's just coping with getting back to where I was before, which was never 100%, but it was better than at the moment, where I'm walking along very unsteady on the feet, etc. Like I say, the confusion and just trying to think normally is difficult with a brain injury at the best of times. So I know I've got that to deal with, which will gradually, hopefully, dissipate. I don't even know if that's the right word. It'll go back to where I was prior, where I can get out and walk and not feel like I'm like the world's pulling us to one side, if you know what I mean. That's basically what it does. And the fatigue is excruciating. You know, I mean, this is a little bit of education for people who don't have a brain injury, and recognition for people who do. It can be a right pain in the arse, the fatigue, and it can creep up at any point. You don't really need to hit your head for it to happen. So that's where I'm at, and I just felt like I needed to. This is just peaceful, just sitting here, blue skies, April 2025, northeast of England. My weather app told us it was 9 degrees, but it feels warmer. I'm sitting here with a coat and a hoodie underneath. On the plus side though, I managed to look at the views in the background, man. It's nice front yard, like. On the plus side, I got a full MOT check, if you like, at the hospital. which was nice. You know, when you've got a brain injury, you think, well, it's nice to hear that you haven't got something else. You know. So anyway, try and get that sun away from the background. ECG, blood tests. In the what else did they do? Blood pressure. And the ALK came back fine. Which anyone with any illness, it's always nice to hear that you haven't got another one in it. Anyway, it's onwards and upwards, and I've got a few weeks of difficulties ahead of not feeling 90%, which is my 100%, but plod on and get back to some level of fitness and feeling better. And let's show you some of these sights. There's a lot worse could be happening in this crazy mud ball called Earth that we live in. On the plus side, we know that men aren't women. That's just been declared. Can you believe we're living in a time when it has to go to a Supreme Court? That level and that public money spent to say that a man can't be a woman. You know, I mean, if you're feeling a little bit crazy, I don't blame you, but just think, how crazy can you be when there's things like that happening in real life? So I wouldn't worry about your mental health too much, like, no matter what the media try to tell you. But there's a lot of unhappy men who now no longer can go into women's private spaces, which is, you know, a bit odd that they wanted to in the first place. Like, no more men in women's jails. What an odd conversation. What's even worse? What's even weirder is I'm having it by myself, but in lovely surroundings. This little area is called the Roundies. It's basically a round bunch of trees. I grew up not far from here. We used to come and hang around and do what kids do, and do what kids used to do. But let's go and have a closer look. I've not been here probably 30 years. Let's see, does any of this look familiar? Kind of, like. I remember this bit. Getting on the old BMXs and pulling jumps. Proper peaceful, is it? Nice place to camp. Good a breath. Just walking. Look at that. It's a beast of a tree, that, like. Up-ended. The empty cans of lager, the empty bottles of cider, note. You know, that's probably a good thing, like. My generation tested out all the crap ciders, so this generation didn't have to. Oh, it's a beast, that. Look at that. I would have definitely made that a mission to climb up when I was a kid, like. Getting down would have been the problem, but you didn't think about that day. It's been fairly therapeutic. Just having a wander about in nature. Trying not to trip our tree stumps. Give myself another concussion. Private Gand Keep Cut. Clear as mud. So I have it on good authority. There's been a group of travellers, gypsies, stopping here the last couple of weeks. They've been told to move on, but it looks to me like they've been offering some services in the local area, particularly tree cutting, and dumped it all here. And they've took a fridge away. That's found its way over here. But they've been moved on, apparently. They've just left a mess behind them. Load more shite. Nice of them, like. More stuff over there. I'm not going to walk over there, like, but they will never get moved on. Yeah, I'm all for the gypsy lifestyle. But at least they don't leave the place worse than when you get here. Anyhow, Eddie Howe, I'm saying enough. This has been quite therapeutic for me. Hopefully you've slightly enjoyed the ramblings of a madman. Catch you next time.